has always been in love with the automobile. But while most people are interested in the newest, high-tech, and most fuel-efficient speed engine, not Jim Miller. For him, the older the auto, the better.
More engineering went into simpler stuff that anybody could figure out. If he's mechanically inclined, you could work on the car. It's a masterpiece of what they did.
And it's not just one old car for which Jim has affection. It's over 350 vintage automobiles from every generation of transportation. Cars he maintains and restores at the Pioneer Auto Show.
It gets the people that never have a chance to see some of this stuff to be able to see it.
When people say, what kind of cars do you have? And I say, well, we got Stanley Steamers and Stoddard Daytons and Spackies and Shacks and Saxons and Sears and Stutzes and Stars and Shelbys and Superbirds and Auburns and Avantis and Packards and Peerlesses and Rolls Royces and Rickenlockers and many more.
Back then, times were much simpler, and so was the automobile.
Definitely more simple. Like, for instance, we have a 1902 Oldsmobile. It had one cylinder. They'd go along one chug per telephone pole. There were buggies with an engine. Some of them, they even had a horse's head on them that they would, so the horses wouldn't get scared and the people driving them felt more comfortable. Amazingly enough, there are 2,600 different makes of automobiles built in America.
Of course, they kind of laugh at some of the stuff that we had, but at that time it was wonderful.
Here along South Dakota's Interstate 90, in the town of Murdo, far from the crowded highways of the city, lies the largest private collection of vintage automobiles in the country that is open to the public. The Pioneer Auto Show is not just a step down memory lane, it's a nostalgic ride into automotive history.
It's got two engines in it. It's got two 500 cubic inch Cadillac engines. The back engine back there runs the rear wheels, and that front engine runs the front wheels. The power steering is up here, so you have to run both engines in order to drive the thing. And it's about 3 miles to the gallon when you do that. It was an experimental pizza car, they called it. Triton #1. It slid forward like an airplane cockpit, and the pizzas were back in here.
What you can learn is almost everything that's ever been done has been tried. We have cars here that have tilt wheels. We have cars that have collapsible bumpers. What was really interesting, we have an electric car, Beardsley, made in Los Angeles. It's the only one left in the world of that particular one, but there were a lot of electric cars. They had a range of about 40 miles.
The ultimate playground. I grew up here playing and running through all this and watching it all grow.
Everyone has a favorite car in their life.
Probably have to be this one right here, I guess. 1968 Shelby GT500.
You know, that's probably the kind that I remember driving when I was a young fella or rode in when I was a kid.
The older the better. Not too old, but the older the better.
All of those were about the time that I was learning to drive and trying to get the car from my dad, you know, so I could take a girl out and ride around a little bit.
At the Pioneer Auto Show in Murdo, South Dakota, those cars come alive.
This is an attraction. Museums are boring, dusty, and free. Excuse me, various museum people, but we are the antithesis of that. We are an attraction. We are for fun. We bring smiles to people's face and memories to their life. We help make their trip more worthwhile. A memory, that's what we are.
What began in 1954 as a gas station with a few old cars out front as a gimmick to attract customers now spans 10 acres and 42 buildings, a tribute to the evolution of transportation in America, from the horse-drawn buggy to the muscle car.
You knew that they were going to be around forever, and here they got them in a place here where everybody can see them.
They're memories, but there's nostalgia in memories. People would have, maybe they went to a dance in one of those cars back when they were teenagers, a 29 Chevy that they could remember, or a Model A, or an Essex, or a Whippet, or their uncle had one. Memories abound. It makes no rational sense that we have this, but I don't think we can help ourselves.
And it's not just vintage cars being preserved in this Pioneer Auto Show, it's a whole way of life. including a vintage prairie town to depict what pioneer life was like in the Dakotas when the first gas-powered auto took to the street.
In the prairie town, we have a general store, we have a bank. These are buildings that were moved in and saved. You know, a lot of those abound a lot of memories. How about a one-room schoolhouse? There are a lot of people that went to those, but there are not so many coming in the front door anymore.
There's toy collections, gun collections, rock collections. I mean, it's basically 40 buildings of nostalgia, and just about a third of it's cars.
We are in the business of collecting. It is it's kind of got out of hand. We have several hundred cars, but we have 60 tractors, we have 60 motorcycles, we have 42 buildings of exhibits, we have collections. A friend of mine from Texas just sent me a pipe collection. We're putting that in.
Same thing as the cars. If they're not preserved, there's no more coming out. So you have to preserve them for history.
In many respects, I think the things that you see at the Pioneer Auto Museum are really important if you want to understand this part of our country and its settlement and the people who settled it, the pioneers who came across this country and confronted some very harsh realities.
Nash, Hudson, Frazier, Kaiser, all those different kinds of manufacturers that existed around the early 1900s, you'll find them in the 42 buildings in Murdo, South Dakota.
It's helped the economy here in Murdo because it stops people.
Yeah, it's put Murdo on the map. I'm sure it probably won't be like wall drug all over the world, but it could be.
At the Pioneer Auto Show, cars will always be the stars, a preservation of history, nostalgia, and Americana for future generations to enjoy. For more information, visit them on the web at pioneerautoshow.com.